Okay, you might have noticed that it just stopped abruptly when I'm back. What happened was I noticed my little light on my camera stopped blinking just as I was taking the cover off because the memory card was full. So I cleared it out, transferred it off, and we're back. So let's go ahead and take the brake cover, excuse me, the breaker cover off, screws are loose, and take the breakers out. There, and the other one here. Okay, cover comes off, exposing the points. And the gasket as usual, nice and clean and free. What you see, what Kohler's done with their breaker cover is they've got a little grommet on the side here in the corner, and that grommet just slips out like so, and it's there to provide, you know, a little bit of weather resistance, the weather protection against anything trying to get in there, moisture, water, oil, grease, whatever it may be. So that's that there. Now you may notice as I take the capacitor off, condenser, it's really, yes, it's actually a capacitor, it stores the charge. I take it off and you'll see that, well, what I do is I bring my lead from the condenser, I bring it back and I make contact with the points. Most of the time you see this going back to the coil. Now depending on where the coil is, the longer lead, shorter lead, etc. But I just bring it into the points there on the contact, and that works just like bringing it to the negative side of the coil. Just got one less wire on the coil, and this wire is protected underneath. So let's go take off the points themselves. There's the units. There we go. 1 and 2. Easy enough. Points are free to come off. There you go, genuine Kohler points. And you can see how I connected the condenser inside and through onto the spring arm of the points. The gaskets, gee whiz, look at that, like brand new. Okay, gaskets off. One other thing, at this point you should take out the plunger. That opens and closes the points as such. And if you didn't know, you've probably seen it before, but it's an aluminum rod. It's a nice tight fit in there. Has a steel cap on one end, steel insert, and that's what rides up against the camshaft on the lobe. There's a lobe there just for this to open and close the points. So disassembly, make sure I put it in with the steel down. Okay, that takes care of that. This side's all cleaned up. Let's take the flywheel off. And that should end this segment. Again, for disassembly purposes, I've already loosened it. It didn't take much of anything to break it free because it hasn't been on too long. We'll take that out. Come on, there we go. It has a very thick washer. A lot of flywheels, you'll see, or some anyway. The washer will be conical in shape, domed, like a Belleville washer. So it's convex on one side and concave on the other side. That gets extra compression or tension when this is torqued down, because it really needs to be torqued down tight. And there's that. Let's see if that will cooperate. Yes, it will. And off comes a flywheel, supported. There we go. Flywheel off. What I should do, it's a good thing, I looked at it. What I should do is make note of this, make mention of this at this point in time. This flywheel, Kohler engines, I don't know if it's in general, but when I got the parts a year ago and then started to put this together, some of these magnets were loose. They were right off the flywheel. So I had to put them back on. Now, you can't just put them on in any order. There's a polarity, magnetic polarity, that complements generating the AC current through the stator at the backside here. So what I'll show you is just with a little magnet pickup tool, as I bring it towards the center of this magnet, boom, it grabs a hold and pulls it in, so the polarities are opposite and they attract. If I bring it to another one here, I can't bring it to the center. It wants to shoot off to the side. So the magnetic polarities here are the same. Okay? And again on this one over here, you see how it pulls it into the center. This one fights me and wants to go to the outsides. So when you have a flywheel off, you've had some issues. Sometimes I guess it could be the magnets, they're loose, they're moving around. Now what I did is I checked each one and I marked the ones that suck the magnet that were equal pull or opposite poles in, and I marked them in the middle so I knew which one was which. 1, 2, 3. As far as gluing them in, I need to get a prop here for you. As far as gluing them in, what I did is I used epoxy. You can use a lot of different epoxies. I happen to have some JB Weld. You could use LePage, a good 2-part epoxy. Mix it up. The one thing you do need to do though is make sure that the magnets are equally spaced. They don't have to be perfect, but they need to be very close. So in my instance, I tried a few things out, and it turns out for me that popsicle sticks gave me the spacing that I needed. So all I did was cleaned up the surface free of rust on the flywheel side, cleaned up the dirt and debris, and degreased the magnets so they're, nice and clean. Same with the flywheel. And then I mixed up the epoxy and I put the magnets in place with these spacers. They are popsicle sticks, right? And it turned out that the popsicle sticks gave me a very accurate spacing on here. And when I ran out of space, the last 2 popsicle sticks fit in with just a little wiggle room, not much. So I was quite happy with that installation. Let the epoxy dry, 24 hours, popsicle sticks out, there you go. When I did put the epoxy on, I made sure I ran and pressed each magnet down. Because it's the magnet, whether it be in the middle or the outside, it grabs and pulls into the flywheel, okay? But I did make sure I squeezed it so I had a nice thin uniform bond with the epoxy, and then hit it with the popsicle sticks. Doesn't matter whether they're here, 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 but opposite polarities and set down far in. Okay, so there you go. Glad I remembered I did that. So you never know, sometimes it may be loose magnets that are affecting your engine. So we'll put that aside. And let's see, what else? You know, I don't have a lot left to take off. The stator's there. I'll take that off. I don't need to show you that. The only thing you need to know is when you do take it off, make note of where the harness breaks out from the backside, because you want to be able to get to your voltage regulator rectifier, and mine happens to be about here. So if I probably could have put it down there, but it just makes it too tight to get around some of the other stuff. So make note of where you take it off, and if you've forgotten, then just remember to find out where your rectifier is, so you can figure out where to bring that breakout lead. I'll also take off the starter, and that's about it. So I'll get that all cleaned out. I'll drain the oil like I said. I haven't done that yet. And the next video we'll start to, or we will, take a cylinder head off, leaving the valve springs intact, and the cylinder head on. And by pulling it out, I should be able to get access to the spring clip on the wrist pin without taking the piston out, because I don't intend to take the connecting rods off. There's no need to. I'm in here for the governor. Alright, thanks again. Sorry for the little glitch. Let me know what you think so far, please. I'd appreciate it. It helped me and hopefully help you. And if you can give me any tips and tricks as I go along, I would very much appreciate it. Okay, thanks again. See you soon.